The financial world loves to keep you distracted. Society tells you from a very young age that the secret to getting ahead is to land a prestigious job, aggressively save 20% of your income, cut out your morning coffee, and stare at a retirement account for 40 years. They want you entirely focused on the tiny, visible gears of the economy. But while the masses are exhausting themselves pushing those tiny gears and hoping for a lucky break, the financial elite are quietly sitting in an entirely different room, operating a massive, silent machine. The brutal truth is, you can work yourself to the bone, but if you aren't plugged into the right system, you are mathematically guaranteed to stay exactly where you are. There is a hidden architecture to extreme wealth, a specific engine that the 1% use to effortlessly multiply their capital while everyone else is running on a treadmill. Today, we are pulling back the curtain. We are going to show you the exact mechanics of this hidden wealth engine, how the elite built it, and how you can plug your own life into it to escape the trap of the middle class forever. Welcome to Orionics, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. They completely detach their output from their physical presence. Most people are taught a fundamental lie, that time equals money. You give a company 40 hours of your life and they give you a predetermined paycheck. But if you have to physically be somewhere to generate revenue, you do not own a wealth engine. You actually are the engine. And the human body can only work so hard before it completely breaks down. The elite understand that true wealth is created by breaking the chain between time and income. They build systems that do not sleep. They write code, they acquire income-producing real estate, they create digital media, and they build automated business operations. Once the machine is built, it requires zero additional effort to serve one customer or 1 million customers. They stop trading their finite time and start trading scalable value. Number 2, they optimize for structural equity, not a high salary. If you ask the average person what their financial goal is, they will usually say they want to earn a high salary. But a high salary is the most heavily taxed and highly inefficient way to make money on the planet. When you work for a wage, the government takes their massive cut before the money even hits your bank account. The wealth engine operates exclusively on equity. The elite don't care about the monthly paycheck. They care about their ownership percentage of a rapidly appreciating asset. When you own a company, a brand, or a piece of intellectual property, its valuation can grow by tens of millions of dollars entirely tax-free until you decide to sell it. The middle class fights over a tiny slice of the income pie, while the wealthy quietly own the entire bakery. Number 3. They aggressively capture and control distribution. You can have the most revolutionary product in the world, but if nobody knows it exists, you are going to go bankrupt. Amateurs obsess over making the perfect product. Masters obsess over owning the pipeline that delivers the product to the masses. The hidden wealth engine relies on controlling distribution channels. It is about capturing attention, building an email list, owning a massive social media audience, or securing exclusive retail shelf space. When you own the distribution, you hold all the leverage. You don't have to beg for customers because you literally own the road they drive on. If you control the audience, you can sell them absolutely anything. Number 4. They treat their mental bandwidth as their most expensive asset. Decision fatigue is a silent killer of financial potential. The average person burns through their daily mental energy deciding what to wear, what to eat for lunch, and running mindless errands. By the time they have a moment to work on their future, their brain is completely exhausted. The wealthy treat their cognitive bandwidth like liquid gold. They ruthlessly automate, delegate, or delete any task that falls below their hourly value rate. They hire assistants, use software, and build strict routines so they never have to think about the mundane details. They buy back their time so they can dedicate 100% of their brain power to the few high-level, strategic decisions that actually move the needle on their net worth. And shifting your mindset to realize that your own intellect is your most valuable asset is incredibly difficult if you are still surrounded by the old ways of thinking. You need access to the exact frameworks the elite use to optimize their minds and their money, and that is precisely why we built the Orionics app. We created an entire ecosystem designed to take the secrets of the 1% and put them directly into your pocket. Inside the app, you will find daily coaching sessions and full-length masterclasses from world-renowned experts who have actually built multi-million-dollar empires. They're breaking down the precise strategies for negotiation, scale, and high-performance habits. It is essentially a billionaire board of advisors available to you 24/7. And because you are serious enough to be here with us today, if you download the Orionics app and scan the QR code on screen right now, you will lock in an exclusive 25% off your yearly membership. Invest in your own mind, my friend, because that is the one engine that compounds forever. I'll see you on the inside. All right, moving on. Number 5. They use strategic debt as fuel, not as a lifeline. To the middle class, debt is a nightmare. It is a credit card maxed out on designer clothes or a massive loan for a car that loses value the second it leaves the lot. They use debt to consume. The wealth engine uses debt to accumulate. The rich understand that in the modern financial system, debt is tax-free money. When they find a business or a piece of commercial real estate that is guaranteed to generate an 8% return, they borrow the bank's money at 4% to buy it. The asset pays off the loan, covers the interest, and the investor pockets the difference while keeping 100% of the equity. They are literally building their empires using other people's capital. Number 6, they build ecosystems that trap value. A standard business makes a single sale and hopes the customer comes back someday. The wealth engine operates by building a walled garden. They don't just sell you a product, they sell you an entire universe that becomes incredibly painful to leave. Look at the biggest tech companies in the world. They sell you a phone. Then the watch that only connects to the phone, the cloud storage that holds all of your family memories, and the software subscriptions that run your daily life. The deeper you go into their ecosystem, the higher the switching cost becomes. They engineer a reality where leaving their brand feels like uprooting your entire existence. That is how you turn a customer into a lifelong revenue stream. Number 7. They operate on a scale of asymmetric upside. Normal people think that making huge money requires taking massive, dangerous risks. They believe you have to push all your chips to the center of the table and pray. But the financial elite despise gambling. They hunt exclusively for asymmetric risk. This means they only take bets where the absolute worst-case scenario is losing a small, highly calculated amount of capital. But the best-case scenario is an exponential, life-changing return. They might invest in 10 different startups. They know that 8 of them will likely fail, and they accept that minor loss. But the 2 that succeed will return 100 times their investment and pay for all the failures combined. They stack the mathematical odds entirely in their favor. Number 8, they monetize their own byproducts. This is a brilliant secret of the wealth engine that almost nobody talks about. When a massive company scales, it naturally creates internal tools or byproducts just to keep its own operations running. Amateurs treat these as business expenses. Masters package them up and sell them to the world. The perfect example is Amazon Web Services. Amazon originally built AWS just to handle the massive server load of their own e-commerce store. But once they perfected it, they realized every other company on the internet needed the exact same thing. Today, AWS generates tens of billions of dollars in pure profit. If you are building something to solve your own problem, there is a massive market of people who will pay you to solve theirs. Number 9. They purchase the infrastructure, not the end product. When there is a massive gold rush, the people who get the richest aren't the ones digging in the dirt. It is the people selling the shovels and the pickaxes. The wealthy apply this exact logic to their investments. They don't try to guess which specific app or trendy consumer product is going to win the market. Instead, they buy the data centers that host the apps. They buy the logistics companies that ship the products. They buy the payment processors that handle the transactions. By owning the foundational infrastructure, they guarantee that no matter which specific brand wins the public's affection, they still collect a toll on every single transaction. Number 10. They capitalize on the predictability of human nature. We like to think that we are entirely rational creatures making logical choices, but human beings are driven by deep, predictable emotional loops. We crave convenience, we desire status, and we are absolutely terrified of missing out. The wealth engine is perfectly calibrated to monetize these emotions. It sells status through luxury branding, it sells laziness through on-demand delivery apps, and it sells validation through social media algorithms. The rich understand that if you can find a way to effortlessly satisfy a primal human desire, people will gladly hand over their money without a second thought. Number 11. They shield their engines with legal moat. Amateurs make $1 million and deposit it directly into their personal bank account, leaving them completely exposed to predatory lawsuits and massive tax liabilities. The elite build a fortress around their engine before it even starts generating serious cash. They use an intricate web of holding companies, irrevocable trusts, and offshore entities. They understand that in the modern legal system, owning assets in your own name is incredibly dangerous. The ultimate flex of the wealth engine is to control billions of dollars in productive assets, while legally owning practically nothing on paper. When your wealth is legally insulated, it compounds significantly faster because it is protected from the friction of the outside world. Number 12. They aggressively curate their proximity to power. Here is a harsh reality. The best deals in the world, the pre-IPO tech rounds, the massive real estate syndications, the private equity buyouts are entirely invisible to the general public. By the time a great investment hits the evening news, the real money has already been extracted by the insiders. The wealthy know that their network is their net worth. They spend massive amounts of money to join exclusive masterminds, sit on advisory boards, and get access to the rooms where the future is being decided. They buy proximity to power because they know that one whispered conversation with the right person can yield an exponential return on their investment. Number 13. They standardize the mundane to amplify the creative. You cannot scale a business if you are reinventing the wheel every single morning. Most businesses stay small because the founder refuses to implement rigid systems. They manage by chaos, relying entirely on their own hustle to keep things moving. The wealth engine requires absolute standardization. The elite create flawless, copy-paste operational manuals for every single repetitive task in their business. They systemize the hiring, the onboarding, the marketing, and the fulfillment. By locking down the mundane operations into an automated machine, they free up all of their creative energy to focus on innovation and aggressive expansion. Number 14. They plan the exit before they build the foundation. Most entrepreneurs start a business hoping it simply makes enough money to let them quit their job. They build themselves a slightly better cage. But the architects of the wealth engine never start anything without knowing exactly how they are going to sell it. They build the company with clean books, flawless legal structures, and a highly replaceable management team specifically so it is attractive to a massive private equity firm or a public IPO. They understand that the real generational wealth is not made from the monthly profits. It is made from the massive 9-figure liquidity event when they hand the keys to someone else. Number 15. They optimize for total optionality. At the end of the day, the ultimate metric of the wealth engine isn't just the dollar amount in the bank. It is the amount of absolute sovereignty it provides. Amateurs make millions and immediately lock themselves into massive mortgages, expensive staff payrolls, and high-maintenance luxury liabilities. They are broke at a higher income bracket. The truly wealthy use their engine to buy optionality. They keep their overhead manageable and their cash flow massive. They want the power to pivot, to walk away from bad deals, and to say no to anyone on earth without hesitating for a single second. True wealth is the ability to shape reality on your own terms. And because you are a true Oreonyxer who stuck with us until the very end, here is your secret bonus. The engine runs purely on compounding patience, not frantic hustle. Hustle culture has brainwashed an entire generation into thinking that exhaustion is a status symbol. They think if they just grind harder and sleep less, they will eventually win. But the wealth engine doesn't care about your sweat. It cares about time in the market. The elite set up their compounding structures and then they simply get out of the way. They have the emotional discipline to let the math work for a decade without constantly intervening or panicking. They know that the greatest financial returns come to those who have the patience to sit quietly while everyone else is running in circles. So, we want to hear from you. Which of these hidden mechanics do you think is missing from your own life right now? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. If you are ready to stop pushing the gears and finally turn on the machine, write the word engine in the comments. It will confuse the casual scrollers, but we will know exactly who the real builders are. Thanks for spending some time with us today, Oreonyxer. Keep building, keep growing, and we'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care.